Hello, my name is Errol Davis. I'm Superintendent of Atlanta Public Schools. I would like to welcome you to our 2014 graduation ceremonies. What you are about to see is the culmination of the work that we do in the system. It is noble work. It is why we do this work. You will see amazing young people. You will hear fantastic stories of resilience and fortitude, and you cannot help but come away being impressed by the quality of our students and the potential for their future.
Congratulations. This is the day that we waited for. 13 years later now, look at you guys. You're now graduates, and I cannot be prouder. I feel like a proud mother who has given birth to all of you and is so happy to see your journey just begin to get started. As you begin this journey, by all means, find your purpose. Take pride in your purpose. Do what's best. Remember who you are. Remember character. Remember character is about what you do when no one's looking. You've been taught, you're prepared, now find your purpose. Go out and soar, change the world. And don't forget to come back and help someone else. Come back into the community and do what's best for someone else. And watch what God has for you. Many, many blessings.
Greetings, class of 2014, the new young alumni. We welcome you. We thank you for all the work you've done. We are extremely proud of what you have done up until this point. I think back to the first days when many of you were sophomores coming in, and just to watch you stand back and watch you grow, watch you learn, watch you develop into young men and women. We are so honored to have had an opportunity to impact your lives, and hopefully that impact was in a positive way. So again, remember what you've learned here at South Atlanta. Go forth and change the world. Thank you. Please be seated. We want to remind you that this is a formal and momentous occasion for the young people before you. Please refrain from behaviors that detract from the decorum expected for such a program. Now, please allow the class of 2014 to welcome you in their own special way.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to have a successful, happy, fulfilled life?
I don't know, Shayna, but my question is why do some people seem to have a good life while others seem to live in a world where nothing matters?
No, what I want to know is why some people remain stagnant while others progress despite adversity.
I am sure that all of you have asked yourself these questions, and rightfully so, for each of you have searched for the keys to living a victorious life. We may be young, but we have learned that in order to live a victorious life, we must have a prepared future. I never thought about just how prepared I was until I opened my SAT scores and realized that I had the highest SAT scores in my class, making me the star student of health and medical sciences. And along with my peer, Kenyatta Hendricks, we stand as the first Posse Scholars in South Atlanta history. Next fall, she will be attending Brandeis University, and I will be attending the College of Worcester. You see, victory is not power, possession, or even prestige, but it is rather embodying these 4 simple principles. 1, embrace the difficult times in our lives. We must eat the frog. 2, serve others. We must carry an empty bucket. 3, look beyond the obvious. Strive for the unreachable. We must obtain eagle vision. And 4, acknowledge the most minute acts of kindness. We must be grateful.
Now here's some advice from Mark Twain. Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you for the rest of the day. And if you have to, eat the ugly one first. It may seem funny, but for Twain, frogs represent the difficult situations in our lives that we just do not want to face. And this class has learned that we cannot escape difficulty. Our Atlanta history is ripe with men and women such as Georgia Congressman John Lewis, C.L. Harper, Alonzo Krim, Coretta Scott King, and our former mayor Shirley Franklin. Each took on demanding challenges in areas of racism, classism, and sexism, but they faced them head on and have therefore had a significant impact, not just on Atlanta, but the world. I have experienced this year what some would call a tragedy. My mother, Deborah Pascal, passed away. I was undoubtedly heartbroken, and I lost my ambition to go on. I was afraid to face life without my #1 supporter. However, through my loss, I found endurance, strength, and purpose yet again. Through loss, we find out who we really are. So, I ate the frog. With the help of aunts, uncles, counselors, advisors, and friends, I was able to take on the emotional challenge of moving forward. Because I embraced difficulty in my life, because I ate the frog, I stand here tonight an emerging black leader of Atlanta, having earned over $749,000 in scholarships. And having been elected president of Cash Student Government and Beta Club. And next year, I will matriculate at Georgia College of State University as a pre-engineering major. I am William Coley Pascal II, Valedictorian of the School of Computer Animation and Design. I am victorious.
Like William, many of us have overcome great challenges to arrive at this moment. But instead of focusing on the challenges, my classmates and I are here because we have learned that once you take the time to learn from your present, you grow stronger and wiser and better. But it took us learning this from teachers like Miss Lane Warren, Miss Nkosi, Mr. Suttle, and Miss Earnhardt, who challenged us to be astute and disciplined as 9th graders. It took us learning this from support staff like Miss Medina, Miss Dixon, and Miss Suttle, who challenged our thinking as uncensored, maturing young men and women. It took partners in education like Emory Pipeline and Project Grad to make us appreciate every opportunity as one that will last. My time at HMS has been filled with opportunities, as I was first to take AP Calculus as a junior in HMS. I took advantage of opportunities like SIMSI, Project Grad, Upward Bound, and HOSA, Health Occupations Students of America. Because I worked diligently on scholarships and college applications, I have amassed over $480,000 to date in scholarships. I have been accepted into over 25 colleges and universities and will attend Tuskegee University this fall. I appreciate everyone who has helped me arrive at this moment, especially my mother, Patrice Robertson, and my sisters, Monique, Maria, and Andrea Robertson. and the staff at South Atlanta Educational Complex. I am Shayna Robertson, the valedictorian for the School of Health and Medical Sciences. I am victorious.
Eagles can see 4 to 5 times farther than the average human. While we have 20/20 vision, eagles have 25 or 24 vision under ideal viewing conditions. Scientists say that eagle vision wouldn't change the way that we perform most daily tasks, but I contend that it does change the way that we perceive the world. In order to be victorious, we must perceive and prepare for the world and our place in it. We must have a vision. If anyone had asked me in 2004 if I would envision myself standing here today, I would have said, of course not. Me, valedictorian, my mother was murdered, so what could I possibly amount? Well, let me tell you, I amount to being my school's first student government president. I amount to being the homecoming queen for the entire South Atlanta Educational Complex. I amount to being the star student for LSJ, and I amount to being a member of this upcoming fall freshman class at Emory University. I thank my family, especially my parents, Carla and Derek Smith and Michael Lewis, and my sisters who helped me put my Eagle Vision to work. It is with this same Eagle Vision that Michelle Obama is encouraging schools and families alike to shift to healthier lifestyle choices, and Varen Jane, a 14-year-old 8th grader in California, scored a perfect score on the SAT this year. I encourage all of you to put your Eagle Vision to work, for it will take you to greater heights. I am Jayla Palmer, the valedictorian for the School of Law and Social Justice, and I am victorious.
I do all the good I can in all the ways I can, in all the places I can, every time I can, to all the people I can, as long as I can. Why? Because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? It is our responsibility, those of us who have achieved better, to lift our fellow brothers and sisters to carry an extra bucket for others when they are unable to do for themselves. My parents, Marilyn Johnson and Charles Pace Jr., my brothers, sisters, and other family members taught me this because they always sacrifice for others. We learned this through watching people like our project grad, AmeriCorps volunteer, Miss Wilkins, and our graduation coach, Miss Thomas. Our counselors, Miss Medina, Miss Whitley, Miss Aldridge, and Miss Blake. And we cannot forget our senior sponsors, Miss Thomas, Miss Brown, Miss Middlebrooks, and Miss Ferrier, who at times seem to have worked harder for us than we work for ourselves. We cannot live victoriously if those around us are defeated. Just look at these young men and women. They were born to carry the buckets for their families as the first to graduate from high school. And those who will be the first to attend college. We will serve others, and that makes us victorious. We will use this to work for others, and that makes us victorious. I'm Jessica Johnson, the Salutatorian of the School of Computer, Animation, and Design. I am victorious.
Class of 2014, one challenge we will continue to face is change. We are about to embark on one of the biggest changes of our lives. No longer will we experience the same level of care and concern that we have had while at South Atlanta. The world will see us as the young adults that CAD, HMS, and LSJ has prepared us to be. We will be held to a different level of responsibility, but we are ready. There will be times when we feel that we cannot make it, but we can never give up. There will be moments when we feel like the weight of the world is upon our shoulders, but we can never give up. We must trust the truth within that prompts us to find joy when the world around us seems distressed. We must lead nonetheless with integrity and with the spirit that extends beyond 30354. As an officer in JRTC, I know very well about leadership. I have learned what it meant to lead with loyalty, duty, respect, service, stewardship, honor, integrity, and personal courage. I have learned this from my teachers, Ms. Lane Warren and Ms. M. Shinda, my grandmother, Ms. Cynthia Brown, my aunt, Ms. Kimberly Brown, and my fellow peers here with me tonight. We must not only embody these core values, but act and do so confidently, making a change within our sphere of influence. For one day, our voices will be the one voice that can make a difference. I am Kenyatta Walker, Salutatorian of the School of Law and Social Justice, and I am victorious.
We know that in our own teenage way, we may act like we can do everything on our own. But in reality, we know that it's because of the hard work and dedication of others. Each of you gathered here this evening that we are prepared to live victoriously. We are grateful for every word of encouragement, every look of get it together, every hug, every push forward, every pull up, and every moment of revelation that you have sparked. We are grateful for models like alumnus Mr. Tommy L. Jackson, Mr. James R. Tolston, staff Mr. Philip Braziel, Mr. Horace Dukes, and Coach Michael Reddick, who have shown my male peers that they do not have to be one of the 56% of African American males that do not graduate from high school. We are grateful to have initiatives at APS like Project Grad, who have secured $220,000 for the 56 Project Grad Brumley scholars planning to attend college in the fall. We are grateful for our bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, engineers, secretaries, and school resource officers who keep South Atlanta Educational Complex a great place to learn. We are each grateful for you, our family and loved ones, who have always been there, always sacrificed, and always believed. I am grateful for my teachers, Ms. Sophia Ehrman and Mr. Michael Pirelli. I am grateful that next semester, I will be attending my dream school, Indiana University Bloomington, as a member of the freshman class. I am especially grateful for my parents, Dexter Davis Sr. and Giovanni Washington. I am Danielle Davis, salutatorian of the School of Health and Medical Sciences. I am victorious.
We are victorious. We, as the graduates of the School of Law and Social Justice, will stand for equal justice under the law, fighting for equality for all persons despite race, color, religion, gender, veteran status, disability, and marital status.
I am victorious.
We are victorious. We, as the graduates of the School of Health and Medical Sciences, will live out the Hippocratic Oath. We will remember that we are members of society with special obligations to all fellow human beings.
I am victorious.
We are victorious. We, as the graduates of the School of Computer Animation and Design, will think different like Apple, so we can make it happen like IBM while raising the bar like Singular Wireless.
Nothing can conquer me. We are victorious. Nothing can
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, class of 2014. Thank you for that inspiring presentation. It is important to be prepared for a victorious future. This afternoon, audience, your task is to silence your cell phones and/or other electronic devices to ensure that there are no distracting noises or interruptions that will take away from fully honoring our students. Audience, this momentous occasion should acknowledge our candidates for graduation in a manner we can respect. Therefore, we ask that you give them the respect they deserve during this ceremony by following the audience code of conduct in the front of your program. Now, Principal Charlotte Davis, Principal Patricia Ford, and I, Jared Scott, have the distinct honor of welcoming you to this celebration. Please join us in welcoming the members of the Atlanta Board of Education, Leslie Grant, Educational District Number 1, Matt Westmoreland, Educational District Number 3, Ishay P. Collins, Educational District Number 6, Dr. Howard W. Grant, Executive Director. Thank you. Next, please join us in welcoming our esteemed Superintendent, Mr. Errol Davis, Jr. Thank you. We are pleased to have members of the Superintendent's Cabinet with us this afternoon. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Now introducing a person who encourages and supports our effort towards success, Dr. Danielle Battle, South Region K-12 Executive Director of Schools. Thank you, Dr. Battle, for your continued support. Also joining us this afternoon are members of the Board of Directors of Project Grad Atlanta, Executive Director of Project Grad Atlanta, and other Project Grad representatives. Dr. Gary Magaha, Dr. James Bostic, Dr. Nanette Reynolds. Please stand. Thank you. At this time, we would like to introduce the administration and staff of South Atlanta Educational Complex, who are seated on the stage to my right. Please stand and be recognized. Ms. Mary Houston, Assistant Principal. Mr. Philip Braziel, Assistant Principal. Ms. Starlet Whitley, Counselor, School of Computer Animation and Design. Ms. Carla Aldridge, Counselor, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Ms. Robin Blake, Counselor, School of Law and Social Justice. Ms. Cynthia Thomas, Graduation Coach and Senior Sponsor of Computer Animation and Design. Ms. Camille Ferrier, School of Health and Medical Sciences. And Ms. Chastity Middlebrooks and Ms. Latasha Brown, School of Law and Social Justice. Thank you. Will our instructional coaches, Dr. Teresa Brown, Ms. Susan Buxton Green, and Ms. Andrea Miller, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. This celebration would not have been possible without the love, guidance, and support of families of our graduates. With the proud parents, grandparents, relatives of these seniors, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Encouraging students. Thank you. Encouraging students to believe that they can excel academically has been a joint commitment between home and school. I am proud to introduce the South Atlanta Educational Complex faculty and staff who have worked tirelessly to ensure that students reach the milestones in their lives. Faculty and staff, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Will our Project Grad, Hands-On Atlanta, AmeriCorps College Readiness Coach, Project Grad College Readiness Coordinator, and Field Supervisor, please stand. Thank you. I would also like to recognize our feeder school principals who are with us this afternoon. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. We are always honored to have former graduates to join us in our commencement exercises. We are delighted to recognize alumni from Fulton High School. Please stand. Walter F. George. Please stand. South Atlanta Comprehensive High School. Please stand. South Atlanta Educational Complex Schools of Computer Animation and Design, Health and Medical Sciences, and Law and Social Justice. Those alumni, please stand. Thank you. Thanks to all alumni for your continued support. Now, we would like to turn the spotlight to those who planned this occasion for the graduating class of 2014. Please join us in saluting the efforts of Ms. Susan Buxton Green, graduation coordinator, who is behind the scenes, and all the senior sponsors and members of the graduation committee who are seated in the audience. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. My colleagues, Mrs. Charlotte Davis, will now recognize students who have excelled in the areas of academics.
Please stand and be recognized. The Board of Education top 10% of the graduating class. Thank you. Members of the National Honor Society. Thank you. Members of the National Beta Club. Thank you. Members of the School of Computer Animation and Design. Thank you. Members of the School of Health and Medical Sciences. Thank you. Members of the School of Law and Social Justice. Thank you. Members of Health Occupations, Students of America. Thank you. Members in the dual enrollment program at Atlanta Technical College. Thank you. Members of Emory Pipeline. Thank you. Completers of Career Technology Education Health Pathway. Thank you. Completers of Computer Animation and Design Pathway and Art Pathway. Thank you. Completers of Law and Social Justice Pathway. Thank you. All students graduating with honors with a GPA of 84 and above. Thank you. All students who scored 1,500 plus on the SAT or 21 on the ACT. Thank you. Students who will be enlisting in the armed services. Thank you. Students who will be entering the workforce. Thank you. Students who will be attending a post-secondary school in the fall of 2014, college, trade school, or technical school. Thank you. Students receiving the Hope Scholarship. Thank you. Students who are registered voters. Thank you. Another distinguished group of students to be recognized this afternoon are the Project Grad Scholars. Project Grad Atlanta was established in the year 2000 with strong community, civic, and philanthropic support. Project Grad was a part of a nationwide network of 13 other Project Grad sites which aim to help students achieve academically in grades K through 12 and college. Dr. Brumley and a newly established board of directors partnered with the Atlanta Public Schools to align the Project Grad model with the schools and students who could most benefit from the program. Today, we honor the students from the South Atlanta Educational Complex who have successfully satisfied all of the Project Grad Atlanta scholarship eligibility requirements. This afternoon, 56 students will receive the George W. Brumley Jr. Project Grad Atlanta Incorporated Scholarship. These students maintained a 78 grade point average and above, attended 2 summer institutes, and graduated in 4 years. They will receive $1,000 a year for 4 years to attend a post-secondary institution. 9 scholars from the School of Computer Animation and Design, please stand. Thank you. 23 scholars from the School of Health and Medical Sciences, please stand. Thank you. And 24 scholars from the School of Law and Social Justice, please stand. Thank you. Congratulations, scholars. To date, seniors of the School of Computer Animation and Design have amassed over $1,988,359 in scholarships. Students in the School of Health and Medical Sciences have been awarded over $2,309,906,000 in scholarships and financial awards. And students in the School of Law and Social Justice have earned over $1.2 million in financial awards. Many scholarships are still being received. However, to date, the class has earned approximately $5,498,265 in scholarships and financial awards. Many of our seniors were recognized for their stellar accomplishments this past Wednesday at our Visions of the Future program. However, at this time, I would like to ask Assistant Principal Mr. Philip Braziel to assist the principals in presenting awards not previously announced. These awards are given by faculty and patrons honoring students for outstanding contributions in various fields.
Two additional recognitions that we missed. Miss Lisa Hill, Principal, Crawford Long Middle School. And Mr. Peter McKnight, former Principal, LSJ, Law and Social Justice.
Board members, Mr. Davis, Ms. Walden, Executive Director of Project Grad, Dr. Battle, please join the principals as they present awards. I would like to ask the recipients of our special awards to please come forward when your names are called. The first award is on behalf of our local McDonald's. The Ray Kroc Youth Achievement Award is awarded to a student whose charitable activities both on and off school campus indicate that this person meets and accepts responsibility, genuinely cares about others, and is just a very nice person to know. In addition to the award medallion, McDonald's will give a $100 McDonald's Arch card, good for free food at any McDonald's in the country. This award goes to Kelvin Hodge, School of Computer Animation and Design. Tymerna Robinson, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Maytasha Jackson, School of Law and Social Justice. Please come down and receive your awards. Congratulations to the students and their parents. The George W. Brumley Jr. Memorial Outstanding Participation Award goes to a student who is truly an ambassador for Project Grad. The student's versatility and leadership skills are profound attributes. This award goes to Brittany Flanagan and Christopher Smith, School of Computer Animation and Design. Danielle Davis and DeQuantis Bloodworth, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Sierra Corbett, School of Law and Social Justice. The Atlanta Board of Education Award for Best Attendance for the past 12 years is presented to Marietu Kita, School of Computer Animation and Design. Danielle Davis, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Daisha Shavers, School of Law and Social Justice. The next award is for the star student. This award goes to the student with the highest SAT score in the class and who has at least a 3.5 grade point average. Please come forward, Jayla Palmer, School of Law and Social Justice, Felicia Williams, School of Health and Medical Sciences, to receive your award. This year, the salutatorians of the class of 2014 have distinguished themselves as serious and talented students. Please join me in recognizing the 2014 recipients of the Salutatorian Cup. Jessica Johnson, School of Computer Animation and Design. Danielle Davis, School of Health and Medical Sciences. And Kenyatta Walker, School of Law and Social Justice. The most distinguished award recognizes the highest ranking student of the graduating class. This year we have outstanding students who value education, accept challenges, and possess a positive outlook on life. The 2014 Valedictorian Cup recipients are William Pascal, School of Computer Animation and Design, Shayna Roberson, School of Health and Medical Sciences, Jayla Palmer, School of Law and Social Justice. The following awards are based on nominations and selections by the South Atlanta Educational Complex faculty and staff. These students will come forward to receive their awards. The faculty award is presented to the senior who has maintained the highest scholastic achievement and exemplary school and community involvement. The recipients for this year are Marietu Kita, School of Computer Animation and Design, DeQuantis Bloodworth, School of Health and Medical Sciences, Maria Madrano, School of Law and Social Justice. The Principal's Cup will be presented to the senior who has esteemed him or herself as a serious scholar with clearly defined goals, a student who is multi-talented, a student who has brought acclaim to himself, herself, and the school through community involvement in local and outstanding recipients. Donald McCluskey, School of Computer Animation and Design. Shayna Roberson, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Natasha Jackson, School of Law and Social Justice. The coveted Atlanta Journal-Constitution Cup is awarded annually to seniors who are deemed the best all-around student by the administration, faculty, and staff. Our 2014 recipients are the most versatile students at South Atlanta Educational Complex. They have not only achieved academically, but they embody all of the qualities that we encourage our students to emulate. The talented young people have distinguished themselves scholastically and through community involvement. They are involved in numerous extracurricular activities. They love a challenge. Please join me in congratulating the 2014 Atlanta Journal Cup recipients. William Pascal, School of Computer Animation and Design. Danielle Davis, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Kenyatta Hendricks, School of Law and Social Justice. The final award for this afternoon is the 2013-2014 John W. Harris Leadership Award from the National Beta Club. The recipient stands among 50 extraordinary betas from across the nation who have risen to the challenge of being a great leader through service as well as scholastic achievement. DeQuantis Bloodworth of HMS, come forward to receive your award. Again, congratulations to our students. Please give them a round of applause. Before awarding the diplomas, Dr. Ford will come to the podium to deliver words of wisdom.
Class of 2014. On behalf of your principals, Mr. Jared Scott, Ms. Charlotte Davis, and I, Dr. Patricia Ford, we challenge you to etch your minds the principles enumerated to you by your peers this afternoon. 1, claim the victory by embracing difficult times in your lives. 2, serve others. 3, look beyond the obvious and strive to reach the unreachable. And 4, acknowledge even the most minute act of kindness. We, the principals, want to send you off with one more principle to add to your arsenal of life skills, and that is to let your positive side shine. Use these words from Sherry Householder. Always hold honor as a high virtue. Despite how the world may be, rise above. Always speak the truth, because others will hold you in high esteem as a person who can be trusted. Never lose faith in your fellow human hard work. No one will hand you the future you want. When you make a commitment, cherish it for the rest of your life. The ladder to success is steep, but take one step at a time and you will reach the top. Always believe in yourself at all times, and always look at life's aspect. Your happiness depends on you. Before you know it, those wonderful dreams you have believed in all your life will come true. Class of 2014, leave this place to make a difference in the world. Members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Davis, we hereby certify that these candidates for graduation have completed all of the requirements of the state of Georgia and the Atlanta Board of Education and are now eligible to receive the diplomas. Again, we ask the audience to please recognize the formality and seriousness of this occasion by refraining from yelling, name-calling, and other distractions that destroy the beauty and dignity of this program. We owe it to these young people and to their families to allow the program to proceed with honor. Audience, we ask for your full cooperation. Please hold your applause until all diplomas have been presented. We would like to ask members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Davis, Ms. Walden, Project Grad Chair, Dr. McGaha, and Dr. Battle to join us at the center of the stage. And any other board members.
Jayla Ayana Palmer. William Coley Pascal II. Shayna Keeley Robertson. Kenyatta Latrice Walker. Jessica Nicole Johnson. Danielle Giovanni Davis. Felicia Michelle Williams. Jasmine Amon Nakia Robinson. Quenisha LaShawn Lane. Kiara Letitia Stewart. Jemiah Alyssa Kraft. Kayana Desiree Hood. Brittany LaShawn Flanagan. Donald Leon McCluskey. Christopher Rayvaris Smith. Kenyatta Jasmine Jones. Kayana Melissa Renee Richards. Maytasha Tanisha Jackson. Christine Love Woodard. Selena Alexis Callahan. Akila Danae Bostic.
Sandria Lynetta Miller. DeQuantis Geronte Bloodworth. Anthony Lewis Johnson. Keandra Alexis Grimes. Chantel Nicole Shy. Jasmine Brianna Nicole Carmichael. Susanna Osornio Rodriguez. Jakesia Deshae Terrell. Tony Wynn. Miles Justin Collins. Daisha Jamaria Shavers. Alexis Janelle Gibson. Brianna Michelle Boyce. Kiara Shanice Brantley. Tamerna Elisa Robinson. Brittany Denise Searcy. Latasha Ketona Watkins. Daquavius Dericus Brunson. Victor Hernandez Chow. Maria Soledad Madrano. Ashley Nakia Hearn. Cornisha Danielle Williams. Amanda Denise Gates. April Lisette Thomas. Kelvin Hodge. William James Brown. Shadaisha Nicole Ward. Tangela LaShawn Lewis. Jasmine Denise Ann Smith. Sierra Shantae Corbett. Maya Danae Susan Grant. Jasmine Andrea Shy. Jakara Murphy. Jose Carlos Camacho. Dontarius Gerard Rowland. Tyranika Quintana Eggleston. Sanithia Rokidra Jeffone Lee. Britannica Michonne Finney. Jaira Lane. Nashaya Jamilia Smith. Taquavius Bernard Clark.
Johnny DeMonte Williams. Jakira Odrenica Portis. Valencia Todd. Kenyatta Akina Hendricks. Amaria Iman Hadia Williams. Kai Adi Walker. Alvin Grant Manuel. Shavon Demond Reed. Dontavius Ross. Sanchez Tavares Shavers. Marietu Antoinette Kita. Amber Nicole Hearn. Andrea Monet Moody. LaShante Carter. Anicia Keon Adams. Carrie Antoine Joyner. Terrell Deonata Aldridge. Demetrius Shantuan Ford. Alexis Danielle Miller. Mahogany Nicole Ba. Elantra Amira Brachet Barner. Costa Bhutan Anderson Jr. DeQuantis Daquel Williams. Nigel Olajuwon Duncan. Derek Earl Bird Jr. Tyrell Earl Oliver. Luz Pamela Hernandez. Abrian Tamila Wilson. Amelia Trayshawn Paul. Angela Monique Smith. Lamarcus Douglas McGee. Caleb Cordez McWilliams. Samuel Martius Davis Jr. Jaleesa Cook. Brianna Darcel Driscoll. Tashante Isis Huntington. Ashley Brianna Lunnan. Quintavious Demond Parks. Jordan DeAndre Pearson. Christina Redding. Jordan Cornelius Ingram. Eric Carlos Durden Jr. Ashante Nehemiah McLeod. Faith Tian Norwood.
What is his name?
Devon Elise Curley.
Shaquantis Tyneek McKinney. Victor Hernandez. Isaiah Rashad Garner. Nicholas Jatavius Strozier. Ajiamaya Etanya Boyd. Tykeria Shanika Perry. Tanisha Jackson. Larisha Benita Bell. Antonio Lamar McElroy Jr. Ilya Lewis Cody III. Deanna Antoinette Blake. Ronald Dean McCluskey. Kurt Wesley Muhammad. I can't see.
Desire Lachelle Najee Smith. Miosha Walker. Quante Lamont Eccles. Rosa Lachey Herrera. Shanika Michelle Bennett. Paul Ezamora. Destinique Jeveru P.D. Dawson. Lakisa Renee Gilstrap. Erica Lene Wyndham. Tanya Denise Williams. Shakira Unique Stokes. Timothy Eugene Williams. Quindarian Kentrell Miller. Tamara Ramisha Hendricks. Chauncey Jerome Woodard. Jonathan Manterio Willis. Demetria Jamel Harris. Michaela Lashila Moses. Jamal Powell. Marcus David Holt. Marquise Demond Thomas. Sharmisha Nicole Henry.
For 4 years to hear what I'm about to say. Your principal has verified that you have completed all of the requirements of the state of Georgia and the Board of Education, and by the power vested in me by the Atlanta Board of Education, I hereby certify you as graduates of the class of 2014. Well done.